China economy strong, building strong economy, economy for China, nothing stronger than China economy, economy for China. This is RG here. And we're back in our continuing coverage of the strongest country on Earth with the strongest economy on Earth. This is what you've all been waiting for. China economy strong. So today China is cracking down on a $74 billion underground bank moving money abroad. Some might say, hey RG, that's larger than the economy of a lot of countries. And you would be right, but that is just how strong China economy is. That there can exist $64 billion banks. Some might say that this is a massive oversight and it's disturbing that the Chinese government could not see that this amount of money would go missing, but that's just how strong a China economy is. It's not like people are living in like shacks and starving. Yeah, anyways, that's just how strong China economy is. China said it cracked the nation's biggest underground bank, which handled 410 billion won, 64 billion of illegal foreign exchange transactions, as the authorities try to combat corruption and rein in capital overflows that have hit records this year. More than 360 people have been arrested or faced lawsuits or other punishments. Okay, that's a grammar error. This really had strong economy, then they would have a comma there. In the case centered in eastern Zhejiang province, the officials People Daily reported on Friday. People's Daily, newspaper of China, people. Okay. Case brought the total for underground banking and money laundering activities to 800 billion won since April, the newspaper said. The probe began in September last year, and the police took almost a year to sort through more than 1.3 million suspicious transactions. I wonder if they'd hire me to do that. That sounds like fun. The state-run Xinhua news agency reported separately. The authorities froze more than 3,000 bank accounts, Xinhua said. That doesn't seem like that many bank accounts. The case highlights the nation's struggle to control capital outflows that have helped to send real estate prices soaring from Vancouver to Sydney. Even when Chinese citizens are officially limited to converting $50,000 of won per year. That's a joke. There's no way it's that little. They wouldn't be able to like buy half of Canada if that was true. China government lie about conversion rate using Sun Tzu's tactics. Deception is art of war. People think limit to 50,000 won, but other people know truth. China buy a property while no one suspects it, like Dragon in Glass. That's my best thing, that they just, it could be gross corruption or incompetence on the part of the Chinese government, or it could be like I just said, it's really just a strategy. The government wants to stem outflows and stabilize the won's exchange rate, but the outflows cannot be stopped unless the people change their expectation on won depreciation, said Zhai Zhenyang, a professor at Shanghai University. I hope I'm pronouncing this right. I like to think I pronounce it better than most foreign devils, but it's a completely different language that's not related to Indo-European. A lot of money is leaving the country by legal means, Zhai said. China's capital outflows may have climbed to a record 194 billion in September. Holy shit, in 1 year? In 1 month? Before cooling to 62 billion in October, according to a Bloomberg gauge, which also takes into account decisions by exporters and direct investment recipients to hold funds in dollars. Smurfing. The tactics used by citizens to defeat the controls include so-called smurfing, where large sums are moved by breaking them down into a series of smaller transfers using the bank accounts and foreign exchange quotas of a range of individuals. So, like, if you run a factory full of sweatshops, you give all your employees a $50,000 bonus, and then you take that and send it to your account overseas. In the Jiayang case, a suspect identified as Zhao Moyi used a different method, setting up more than 10 companies in Hong Kong from 2013 on and transferring 100 billion yuan through so-called non-resident accounts, which are used by offshore companies in China when they're transferring money abroad, according to the newspaper report. Taking advantage of a loophole related to non-resident accounts, which has since been filed by banks, Yao circumvented the controls by directly transferring yuan overseas and then exchanging money into. Okay, this is like too complicated for me. I think I get the idea. Basically, he pretended he was a foreign company and used that to get around currency controls. Suspicious transactions. No shit. $62 billion in suspicious transactions. Okay, so methods of bypassing China currency include making transfers. Okay, none of this is really that interesting. Another case highlighted by the People's Daily on Friday, investigation of an underground bank in Fuyang this year uncovered a network spanning Hong Kong, Taiwan, Australia, and Saudi Arabia. Okay, so let's see here. The People's Bank of China has given verbal guidance to offshore lenders to stop offering cross-border financing to offshore banks. People with the Familiar said this week. The Monetary Authority has also told overseas banks to halt onshore bond repurchases, two of the People said. This is like really bad grammar, but that's just because it's probably translated from China, and China have best grammar on earth. China grammar for English better than native English speaker. So what can we determine from this? That the Chinese government has completely useless currency transfer laws that are not followed by anyone, and they seem completely incapable of controlling it. But that's part of their master plan, to make us think that they're too incompetent to control their own monetary supply. So we let China off the hook, and we aren't paying attention, and then China strike like snake in grass. This is Argent Templar signing out.